If you're thinking about starting a home daycare and aren't quite sure how to get started, you've come to the right place. Running a home daycare can be a fun and rewarding experience, but it definitely requires your full dedication to make it a success. Let's go through the steps to get your home daycare up and running. The first step of starting your home daycare is to get licensed as a home daycare provider. All home daycares are required by law to meet their state regulations for child health and safety in order to operate. Every state is different, but most will require you to go through a background check and inspections. You'll also most likely have to show that your home daycare meets specific building codes. For your convenience, we'll give you all links you need at the end of this video. The next step in starting your home daycare is to evaluate your home's environment. Parents will want to see that their children are being well taken care of and are in a safe place. Having just completed your home daycare licensing, you'll have a list of regulations that you'll need to follow to make your home a safe place. Some of these things will include smoke detectors, fire extinguishers, carbon monoxide detectors, first aid kits, and other safety equipment. The next step is actually a pretty fun one. You'll want to think of a name for your home daycare. The name of your daycare should reflect the type of care you plan to give. You'll also want the name to be easy to spell and say in order to avoid confusion. Make sure the name of your home daycare is fun and catchy. Remember, this is the name you'll be using to advertise your business. Next, you'll need to decide what you're going to charge. This can be tricky, because if you charge too much, you may not get business. On the other hand, if you charge too little, people may think you're underqualified. Finding the right balance is key. The average home daycare these days charges about $650 a month for one child. Let's say you decide to run with the price of $650 a month for one child. There are times when you may get families that want you to watch more than one of their kids. To make your center more appealing, you may want to offer a discount for more than one child. Your base price would be $650 a month, and then you could charge, let's say, $200 for every additional child. For example, if they want you to watch 2 children, you would charge $850 a month. For 3 children, you would charge $1,050 per month, and so on. Decide what your additional child fee will be on a monthly, weekly, and daily basis. You may end up getting families that only need you to watch their child 1 week a month or 1 day a week. To figure out what to charge on a weekly and daily basis, take your monthly rate, let's say $650, and divide that by 4, because there are 4 weeks in a month. This gives us a weekly rate of $162.50. Now, take that weekly rate and divide it by 5 days a week, since you're most likely only going to be watching children Monday through Friday. This gives us a daily rate of $32.50. So, your breakdown is this. Monthly, $650. Weekly, $162.50. Daily, $32.50. At the end of the day, you're in complete control over what you charge. To get a general idea of where to start, try checking out local competition. This will give you a range of fees charged in your area, and you'll avoid charging too much or too little. Once prices are set, gather appropriate supplies needed to run your daycare. This may include games, puzzles, crafts, books, and toys. You'll also need to decide what you're responsible for and what parents are responsible for bringing for their child. Some home daycare centers provide a breakfast and lunch, and some require children to bring their own. Maybe you provide breakfast, but children bring a sack lunch. Also, gather a list of items parents need to bring for their child. This would include things like diapers, extra clothes if needed, and a pillow and blanket for nap time. Whatever you end up deciding on, factor into the price you charge. For example, if you end up deciding on providing lunch, charge a bit more than $650 a month to make up for extra costs. One of the final steps in setting up a home daycare is to pull all paperwork together so you're ready when business starts flowing in. The first one you'll need to pull together is a contract. This is where you state your hours and days of operation, as well as what you expect to be paid. The main purpose of the contract is to ensure you and the families you work with are all on the same page and nothing is unexpected. You may also want to put together a policy handbook. In this handbook, you'll talk about how your daycare is run, such as house rules and how you discipline. This will end up being a go-to guide for parents who have questions about your daycare. Have each family fill out an emergency and health information form. Have them fill out a point of contact in case of an emergency, information about the child's dentist and doctor, and who has permission to pick up their child from your house. You'll also need to have each family fill out a transportation form. This form gives you permission to take their child off your property. This is necessary if you go on a field trip or if there's some type of emergency. You need to have written permission from a parent in order to do this. Have each family fill out some information about their child so you can get to know them. This form should include eating and sleeping habits and an area for them to let you know about any health concerns. The final form that you'll want to give to families is the daycare schedule. Parents like knowing what their child is doing on a daily basis, so they'll really like this form. All you have to do is print out what you guys plan on doing each day of the week. Very simple. The final step in starting your home daycare is to begin to advertise. The best way to start is word of mouth and through your network of friends. You most likely have friends that have kids, and they're a great place to start. It's also a good idea to make some flyers and hang them on public bulletin boards around town. You should also think about setting up a website so people can find you online. There are also some great services out there that you can get listed on, such as momtrusted.com. There are many steps involved with starting your home daycare, but it's all worth it in the end. Make sure you spend quality time on each step because they're all equally important. It does take time to get things up and running, so don't worry if you don't have a ton of business in your first month. Just stick with it and you'll be running a successful home daycare in no time.